Alright, hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about TDD, and what's that, everyone? Testing driven development, and what is that, do you know?
Testing over every iteration.
Testing over...
Before every iteration or something, of the code.
Yeah, testing your code for function, perhaps? Yeah, testing your code. So with coding, do you test your code before or after? Have a good guess. Like for every developers, do they normally test their code before or after?
That's three of them, I think, before.
Before, yeah, exactly. So with TDD, it's basically before you develop your function or method, you want to test your code first to make sure that it's more efficient. So with Sumi, have you ever performed any testing at work? Very little. Like, can you explain a bit, because you have the most experience in development.
So, if you want to make sure that your function is an addition, depending on the testing suite that you're using, you describe the test, and then you say the result has to be.
Yes, that's good. No, that's really good.
You describe, you show what the answer
exactly.
Is,
yeah.
And then you try and make the function the right possible.
Yeah, that's it, yeah, exactly. So let me show you a diagram. So we have this cycle called Ttd Cycle. So when you write a test, so it's a red-green refactor cycle. So when you write a test, you want it to fail first because you haven't created your function yet. So you want to test. Say for example, I don't know, like what Sumi said, like an addition. Did you say an addition? You want to make sure that 1 + 1 is equals 2. So something like that. And then so you want to do testing in that. So, and then after that, that's when you create your function. To make sure, so that's the green. That's when you move to the green one. That's when you write enough code to pass the test. Once that's done, you move to the next cycle, which is the refactor, to make sure that your code is minimum and more efficient.
And these are the way to, for example, when there are the tests and stuff like that, to see your coding and compare with the one that is the best in class, like to understand about the mistakes or something. Now it's not easy. Because sometimes you do the challenge, you never know what you did wrong or what you did right.
Yeah, so that's why you do testing now. So for example, like I said, let's just say 1 + 1 is 2, and you want to basically create that function that will make the test pass. However, you want to make this function more efficient, so therefore you do another test. So for example,
the same one you have to
exactly. So what if I want 2 + 2 = 4? But obviously the functions goes according to the first test. Yeah, but I will show you how to do it later on. But so far, are you guys okay with this cycle? So during the first stage, you write a test. You want to fail because you want to make sure that you're starting from scratch. And in green, you write the function to make sure the test passes. After it's successful, that's when you try to refactor it to make it cleaner, make it more efficient, make it as minimum as possible to make it clean. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let me demonstrate to you guys. Right. So with testing, what kind of framework it uses? Do you know? Like what testing tool?
Jasmine.
Not with React, no. But you can use Mock if you want. If you want, pardon?
Yes.
Oh, see, you're too good, Jess. You're too good. Do you use Jest at work? Jasmine.
They use Jasmine.
Yeah, because of React, isn't it?
To use Jasmine.
Yeah, because it comes as a package with React. So therefore, Why you know, why bother, you know, importing Mocha, Chai, whatever, and all that? Whereas it comes with create React app, yeah. So let me show you guys. If I go to package.json, so if I show you here, so if you don't use React and use Node instead, you would have to write this instead, jest. However, like I said, it comes with React, create React app. So therefore, you just need to. So therefore, it's written like this. Yeah. Any questions so far? Yeah. But I'll show you how to run it later on. So with jest, you need to create a file, a testing file. So what should I call it? Give me a name, Sumi. Should I call it workshop? I don't know. Yeah, workshop test. Let's just call it workshop. So after workshop, I need to put .test and then .js. Yeah, did I spell it right? Yes, fine. Oh, guys, can you see, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So this is your testing file. Now, so Sumi, tell me, how do I write my very first test? What kind of method do I need to use? You did mention it earlier.
You need to use the describe method. Describe the test.
Yeah, we can use describe, but is it necessary for just one test? Yeah, okay, no worries. Right, to write my very first test, I need to use this method called IT. Doesn't stand for anything, by the way. It just says, it's just IT. And why does it do that? Yeah? So this method called IT, does anyone know how many parameters it has, or how many it requires? 2. What's that? What's the first parameter? Pardon? Yeah, nice one. Right. What I normally do is for the description of the test, I normally start with should, meaning it should return something. Does it make sense? So it should return, I don't know, let's just say return Sumi. Sumi. Right, what's the second parameter, guys? Good guess, Julia? Very good guess. Very similar to filter.
Index.
Pardon? No, not index. Who said that? Oh, Paola, come on. You're smarter than that. I know you're smarter than that. All right, let me put you out of misery. It's a callback function. Yeah? Now, within the callback function, do you know anything? Simi, what's yes, nice one. What is expect? Like, what's that for? Expect method. Very self-explanatory, but
So you tell the test what you want.
yeah, exactly.
To return.
It's like an insertion, isn't it?
A string.
Yeah, exactly. So expect is like what's the expected outcome that you want to be asserted against the actual outcome, yeah? So I said, so for the description, it says it should return Sumi. So if I use the method expect, oh, what does it do that? Ooh, expect Sumi. Now, I want to compare the expected outcome, Sumi, with the actual outcome. Does anyone know what kind of method do I need to use to compare the expected outcome to the actual outcome? Yes, to be. Or not to, no, that's not stupid. Right. What do you want? What's the outcome that you want to compare against Sumi exactly? So will this work? Right. Yeah. Now, before I do that, I need to run the command. Can anyone guess what the command is? So there's a clue. Just, yeah. Just test. Why is that, Jake? What's does npm stand for? Exactly, Node Package Manager. So to run this script for test, I need to type in npm test. Yeah? Everyone clear? Cool. All right, let's have a look. Now, oh, see, I passed. It's green, so therefore it's true.
How do you make this test fail?
Let's say Sumi is not cool. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Well, if I change that to is not cool, yeah, it passes, right? So it's basically comparing true with truthy and to falsy. Yeah. If both are falsy, both are truthy, it should pass.
What is the describe at the top of the
Yeah, I show that in a bit. Now, so this is for just one test. What if I have multiple tests? So back to Sumi's point, what do I need?
Can I ask you?
Yeah, sure, Paula, sure, of course.
How does this connect with the code that we write?
Pardon?
Is it looking at the code at some point or to find where we have a code?
Sorry,
Is this supposed to text the code that we
exactly, yeah. I'm just basically showing
How
the.
do we connect?
Yeah, I'll show that in a bit. I'm just basically showing the very basics for now.
Okay.
Then I will move on to the, more complicated part. Yeah. Okay. Oh, what happened? Pardon me. This cable doesn't like me today. Cool. So so let's do another test. Now back to my point. If I want to do more than one test, what method do I need to use? Sumi, you did mention it earlier. Description. Is it description or the other? Yeah, describe, exactly. Yeah, describe, yeah? So let me show you guys. So describe method. Now, how many parameters am I required to put in? Exactly. What's the two?
String description.
It's string. Yeah, for the description, and then what? What's the next one? What's the second one? Yeah, exactly. The callback function. Yeah. So let's just call it workshop testing for now because I'll be doing a bunch of random tests. Yeah. Workshop testing. Now, Florin. So for the second parameter is the callback function. So let me put it inside. So describe is like a wrapper, yeah, to wrap the variety of tests, yeah. Now let's do another one. Come on, Sumi. Or Paolo, give me a random test. What do you want? What kind of test do you want this time? Yeah. What should return? Pardon? Tesla.
So is it, for example, we are thinking about a certain function that we write?
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
code and we think this function should
return something? Yeah.
If it works well.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Let me put it out of misery. Let's go back to Flora. Let's say Tesla. Yeah. So if I do that, now what's next? So we want to expect, don't we? Now let me do something different this time. Let me declare a variable. Let's say cars, and let me create an array of cars. So like Flora mentioned, Tesla. Give me another one. Ford. Yep. Fiat. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's just do 3 for now. Now, how do I test it? So I've got the expect method. So what am I expecting?
Tesla to be car.
Mm-hmm.
Counters, index 0 equal Tesla.
Index 0 to be Tesla. So you see, yep, it passes. So is everyone okay with that? Let me do something different. What if I don't want to use the index notation? I want cars, I want it to find Tesla within this array. No. This is for test. We're using testing methods. So there's a particular method. Oh, why are you so good? To equal. Oh, it doesn't work. Why's that? It works with array, I'm sure, but it doesn't work if I remove the index notation. So there's another method called to contain. Yeah, I'm just introducing a bunch of testing methods. Yeah. Now, so if I do this, so I can use either to be or, like Sumi said, to equal. Now, what is the difference between to equal and to be? Pardon?
Equal and strict equal?
Yeah, it's strict equal, exactly. So it strictly equals to a particular element. Whereas to be is more general, isn't it? So it can be anything. So I'd be careful if I use this method with equal, because it's strict equals to a particular element, yeah? Whereas to be, it can be anything. Right, any questions so far?
Is when you say the difference between element and anything would be, how would you characterize it?
So with equal, like I said, it's do you know what's the JavaScript for equal? Do you know for equals? For strictly equals, how many equal signs are there? 3, yeah? So it's a bit like, so 2 equals is more like the 3 equal signs, whereas for 2b, it's more like the 2 equal signs. Does it make sense? Yeah? So 2 equals is, I rarely use 2 equals. I prefer to use 2b. Yeah? Right, let's do another one. Right, let's say 1 plus 1. Can I use 2 equals or 2b for this situation? Yeah, because it's strictly equals, right? 2 equals what? 2, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I just called it workshop testing, so it doesn't matter. It's very... Oh, yes, of course. Should return 2, exactly. Yeah? Right, what if I say... this? Actually, no, let's do another test. Do it quickly. So should return more than, I don't know, more than 10. So I expect, I don't know, 10 to, I can use greater than or equal to that's it. Got it right. So if I put in 11, it fails. Why is that? Oh, I know why. So if I do, yes, that's it. Yeah. So there's a bunch of different methods you can use, but this is one of them. Yeah. What about vice versa? What would that be? Yeah. Always less than. So if I put in, I don't know, 8 to be 5, it fails. If I do it vice versa, it works. Yeah. So it's just a bunch of different methods you can use. Yeah. Right. Let's start the real thing. Now, I want to do a test based on the function multiply. Now, let's basically start with the describe method. What shall I call it, Paula? So I want to create a multiply function. Pardon? Yeah, exactly. Multiplication, yeah? Multiplication. Testing. Now, what's the second parameter, Julia?
The arrow function.
The what?
Is it the arrow function?
The arrow function, exactly. Now, I now want to create a test for the multiplication. So, let me start with what it should return. So let's start with the first test. Let's just say it should return, I don't know, return 2 when I pass 1 and 2. So as you know, 1 and 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Let's do the callback function. Now what's the next step, Sumi?
Expect.
Yeah, expect. Now I'm going to do something different this time. So before I start with expect, I want to declare some variables. Now for the first variable, I want to declare the first number 1 equals 1. Number 2, the second variable, equals 2. Now I want to declare another variable called expected outcome. Now what's the expected outcome, guys? 2. Now the next one is called the actual outcome. Now for this one, I want to basically invoke a function which I haven't created yet, but I want to test it before I create that function, yeah? So how do I invoke a function? So let's just say I want to call it multiply. So what do I do this when I want to invoke a function? Do I do this?
Multiply and the 2 brackets.
So do I need the function or not? Do I need this keyword or not? No, yeah? Now, so when you invoke a function, do you need anything inside the parentheses? Say again? Argument, exactly. What kind of arguments? So I have a variable of what number 1 and a variable of number 2. What do I put inside the function for multiply? Philip, do you have any idea? Yeah, number 1 and number 2. Yeah? So basically, I want to test on a function multiply. Did I spell it right? Yeah. Multiply with the 2 arguments. So number 1 and number 2. So 1 and 2, yeah? So obviously this will fail because I haven't tested yet, and there's no function I haven't created. I haven't tested for using the expect. So let me for expect. What do I put in? Expect or actual? What? Why is that? Why actual? But anyone is tested. Are you sure? Actual outcome? Because it says expect here. Yeah, yeah. Does it make sense? So I want it to be the expected outcome instead. And I want to compare the expected outcome against the actual outcome. Now, what's this particular method I need to use for the actual outcome? A very common one. To be, yeah? To be. So I want to compare the expected outcome to the actual outcome. Right. So obviously it fails. It failed because this is the red stage, and like I said, I haven't created function yet. So this is the red stage, yeah? So now let's move on to the green stage to make the test pass. So before I do that, I need to create a function. What should I call it? I don't know. Maths. I'll call it maths for now. Doesn't matter. Right, let me move this away. Right. So what do I need to do here? How do I create a function? Can you remind me? Function, yep. So I want to call it multiply. So I want to call it multiply, yeah? not yet. I'll move on to this one later on. Now, in order to make this test pass, I need to make sure that the answer is 2. So when you do testing, you kind of want to. So when you create a new function and a new test, you can't just want to make it pass first. So I will talk about the arguments later, but to make sure it passes, what do I need to do? Return 2, right? Now before I do that, let me export it before I start testing it. Multiply. That's it. I need to import it as well. Import maths from what? Yeah, that's it. Right, let's have a look. So it should return 2. So did I not import it right? Let's have a look. Maths. Did I put maths wrong? So maths.js, that's fine. I think it's because of, no, that should be fine. Default should return. So it should be right. Sorry, guys. Right, let's have a look. Expected outcome. So I imported it. Import maths from maths. Don't think so. Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, multiply. Yeah, that's it. It passes. And now it passes. So that's the green stage done. Now, the next stage, I want to refactor it. So if I want to refactor it, I will want to create another test. Let's just say it should return, I don't know, 10 when I pass 2 and 5. And then I do this again. So let's just say number 1, number 2 is 2 and 5, and I expect the outcome to be 10. Right, so will this work? Nope, it doesn't work. So can you see? The first test passed, but the second test failed. Now, how do I make sure it passes? So obviously you can't do this, 2 and 10. So in real life, people tend to do some logic here to make sure it passes the test. So I can use, I don't know, like an if function or something. So here, this is where I pass the arguments. Let's just say number 1 and number 2. So in order to pass the test, I will do something like, I don't know, number 1 equals 1, and number 2 equals 2. What do I do here? What do I return here? 2, exactly. And then in order to pass the second test, people might do the same thing, like number 1 equals, number 2 many equals 2, and then number 2 equals 5. And you want to return what? 10 this time. And it passes. But obviously, this is not the perfect code. This is not the perfect function that you want, because I'm simply using some logic here. Now, I want to show you another testing method here. Right, so for example, say for example, I don't want to return something. Does anyone know the negating method? Say for example, should not return 10 when I pass 2 and 5. So if I say not expected outcome, let's just say 9. Right, how do I make this pass? I can use this method called not to be. Right. Don't know why it's not working. Oh, it should be 10, right? So not to, oh, that's why. Excuse me. I didn't put this not here. Yep, and it works. Yeah. So not is like it's like negating a particular outcome. Yeah. Any questions, guys, for the not method? Yeah, just doing the opposite thing. Yeah. Right, let me create another function just for fun. Let's just say I want to create a function called subtract. So I want to do the same thing, number 1 and number 2. Right, guys, do you guys remember how to export 2 functions? Sumi, do you remember?
Extends?
Nope. Is it? Pardon?
Export before, multiply, subtract?
Yeah, how do I do that? So do I need the keyword default? No. So can I simply do export and subtract like this? It's a red line here. I just simply need to add curly braces, yeah? That's how you export more than one function. It still doesn't work because I need to import as well. How do I do it here? Yeah, same thing, right? Yeah, are you guys clear with more than one function? Yeah, that's how you export and import. Right, let's do the same thing let's do a test for subtract. So let's just say should return 5 when I pass, I don't know, 7, 8, and 3. So let's do a callback function. So then do the same thing as usual. Ooh, not this one. Ooh, too fast. Doesn't matter. Let me copy this instead. Right, if I pass in number 1, so 8, 3, what's the expected outcome, guys? 5, and what's the function? Subtract. Yeah? Right. So like, as usual, in order to make it pass, I can simply say return 5, and it passes. But what happens? So again, what happens if I create another test? So what happens if I do another test that returns a different outcome? So this time I do return 20 when I pass, I don't know, 22 and 2, whatever. 22 and 2, and the outcome should be 20. Oops, excuse me. Yeah? So this is like the cycle. So as you do more tests, you have to adjust your function. So you have to basically refactor your code to be perfect. So obviously at the moment it fails because I'm not making it pass. So if I do this, so first one, is it 8? 8 and 3, that should return 5. And for this second test, for subtract, if I do 22 and 2, it should return 20. Will this pass? Yes, it did. It passes. Right, now, as you can see, like I said, it's not very efficient. It's not exactly the code that I want because it's not pure enough. I want this function to be very pure. So does anyone know how I can change this? Paolo, any idea how I can make this perfect? Or the function? Ternary? Or you mean? Nah, because it's still not pure enough, is it? It's still not very pure. So basically, I don't want these numbers to appear in my function. So that's impure function. So I'm just creating this function in order to make the test pass, the current test, yeah, on the left. So like Sumi said, I want this, like I said, I want the function to be pure. So she said, return, oh gosh, what happened? Return number 1 times number 2. Will this pass, by the way? Yeah, it passes. Yeah? So that's my first function passed. Now for the second function, what do I need to do here? How do I make this pass?
Number 1 minus.
Exactly, Julia. So number 1 minus number 2. See? It passes. So is everyone clear now how regarding to testing? I mean, although this is the most simple for TDD, but do you get the gist now with the cycle? Yeah? So you want to write a test and watch it fail because you haven't created your function yet. And then once you create that test, you want to write the function to pass the test, yeah? And then once it passes, you want to refactor. Yeah? Sorry, I mean, when you write a test, not create a function, sorry. When you write a new test, you want to watch it fail, and then you move on to your function to make it pass. Once that's done, you want to refactor it, make it perfect, make it pitch perfect. Yeah?